quickly as possible. One of the things I'm concerned about is potentially these ports getting hung up. I think it's totally unacceptable to try to intentionally deprive people of the supplies they need to be able to rebuild their homes when they've been displaced at a natural disaster. We should be doing all we can. The federal government should be doing all they can to make sure all the supplies continue to come in here unabated. And there is the prospect of things that are critical for the rehabbing and recovery of here and other parts of Florida that may get hung up in some of this work stoppage. So now is not the time. You already have people that are reeling. You have people that are on their backs. Let's do everything we can to accelerate the relief. Make sure that they have the equipment. Make sure they have the supplies that they need to be able to rehab their properties and rebuild their homes. We are looking at if there's anything as in terms of the Florida ports and my responsibility and authority as governor to facilitate. I'm not sure that there is, quite frankly. I mean, because some of these things are contracts and you've got different stuff with feds. So we'll see. But anything I can do, I'm going to do to make sure that the supplies continue going. But that is a big concern. I mean, just think about it. This is tough anyways because you got a lot of different property that needs attention. But if all of a sudden this stuff starts getting backed up and it starts getting delayed days, weeks, or even more, that's going to be intolerable. So we have an emergency situation in our country, not just in Florida, but in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee in particular. So we should be doing all we can as Americans to make sure that the supplies are continuing to be delivered to our ports and delivered to where they need to be so that they can get put into practice. So I'm committed to pulling whatever levers I can to make sure that that happens. But I think it would be really, really bad luck for the Biden-Harris administration to allow supplies to just be sitting in the Atlantic Ocean, just on ships that are just idling when you have people, not just here in Pinellas County, but up our entire Gulf Coast and Big Bend who need it. So it is a concern. It's not something that will be good if they allow this to happen, and I'll do whatever I can to avert it. So I think it's going to depend on the business, on the home, on the damage, and I don't think it's going to be uniform. But what we're committed to doing is getting rid of any red tape or bureaucracy that would inhibit a business from getting back to business. So, for example, we were in Steinhatchee up in the Big Bend, relatively small community, got hit by Hurricane Idalia. After Idalia, I go to Roy's Restaurant, great seafood joint there right on the water. And they were providing relief. They had some damage, but not much. This time, Roy's Restaurant is basically gone, total destruction. So, these are folks who are resilient and they take it in stride and they want to put their best foot forward. So they want to be able to use a mobile kitchen to be able to serve folks in the community. Well, there's restrictions in terms of whatever the laws and local regulations. And I said that's unacceptable. Set up your mobile kitchen. Set up your food truck. Do whatever you need to do to get back on your feet. And so we'll clear whatever roadblocks are there under my emergency authority. And I know if we have to make legislative changes, you'll see that. But those are the types of things we want to do.